I got annoyed but tried to ignore it. Now, after hearing it for more than 20 minutes, I had enough and I went out into the backyard and waved a flashlight and screamed as loud as I could to get his attention.
First thing that jumps right out at me, and I hate the fact that you read that to me like a bedtime story.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another week of the Powered by Piedmontese podcast, and joined here today with my good friend, Joe. Joe, how you doing?
Ben, great to be here as always, and really looking forward to a discussion that I quite literally have no idea what we're going to talk about.
Me either.
Whoa.
Isn't that something? I've been out for a few days.
You have been, yeah, and actually, it's been a very productive week.
Oh, so I'm the weak link in this cog.
Well, just more of a distraction than a weak link, but...
Now, in fairness, I myself was not sick. My kids were sick, probably because of their lack of eating beef. They just choose for the grilled cheese and PB&J.
That, or, kids just, one kid gets sick, it comes home, daycares, etc. It's kind of like a domino effect.
There's a funny meme out there where, parents, like, to daycare, you give them half of your paycheck. Daycare, what do they get back with you? Weeks and weeks of viruses.
Viruses, pink eye, you name it. Just disgusting.
Yeah. So, interesting week for me. So then it comes up, time to podcast. I got nothing. Haven't looked at anything. But you know who comes saves the day?
Our producer,
Lily. So we shared one of our stories the other week. I thought it was a good one. Involved dogs and jerky and now probably ex-friends. So today we're both going to fly blind. And I actually would look really forward to this because who knows what we're going to get.
So here goes nothing.
Here we go. Jumping right into the deep end. So first story. Am I the a-hole for creating a meat eaters only club at work? I love this. Now this is from a throwaway account because he doesn't want, whoever's writing this doesn't want anybody to know it's him. Okay. I already thought Reddit was already shrouded in secrecy, but whatever. I guess people know who.
What's the second account mean anyway, right?
Now, I, 32 male, am working long hours in a rather stuffy office environment. However, despite the long hours, or maybe because of them, the management has encouraged lifestyle clubs at the workplace. For example, there's a book club, a movie lovers club, etc. They are free to join and partially subsidized by the company, which makes joining a no-brainer. The process of creating one is rather simple. You need to have at least 5 members willing to join and a statement of purpose, as well as an approval for HR and upper management in order to be compliant with our workplace regulations. Now, in my workplace, I have a colleague, and I'll call her Jane. Fair enough? 29 female. Okay, who has been at the office for a little over a year. She is a dedicated vegan. Vegans. They show up everywhere. Can't get rid of them. And has been here since I've known her. However, this has never been an issue or even that relevant. Now, after a merger about 6 months ago, our team has received a number of new team members. A few of them were vegan as well, but they have taken a liking to Jane. After a conversation between them and Jane discussing the book club, they decided to start a vegan dinner club. Nobody has an issue with this. Despite this, issue surfaced after their statement of purpose became known as it was filed to HR. In the statement, which was passed by HR, one of the rules stated that only vegans, vegetarians, and pescatarians will be welcome and that all dinner options will be vegan. Now, this rubbed some of us the wrong way since it was clearly exclusionary and divisive. Why would meat eaters be excluded only if vegan options would be on the menu? After speaking to Jane, she seemed somewhat distant and mentioned that I didn't understand that this was also a lifestyle club. This is becoming quite dramatic. Now, the workplace soon became divided, but we opted not to file a complaint to HR. However, since the idea of a dinner club appealed to us, we started a burger and steak club, where we wanted to try a different burger or steak place every week. In our statement of purpose, we stated that only meat eaters could apply, due to this being both a culinary and lifestyle club. Now, soon after, some of the eaters could also... I jumped ahead here. We stated that only meat eaters could apply, due to this being a culinary and lifestyle club. Soon after, some of the potential members got called to HR to tell us that members of the vegan dinner club filed a complaint with them stating that our club was exclusionary, offensive to their lifestyle, and that eating meat, as opposed to not eating meat, was not a lifestyle. Despite this, the club passed with HR. In the weeks following this, we visited a number of different burger and steak places every Friday after work, just relaxed after working a 50-hour plus work week. But however, despite my prior friendship with Jane, she now refuses to talk to me, and she is only spending time with her club members despite every attempt to create a friendly workplace. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for a meat eaters only club at work?
Seems like a very divisive company that they're fostering these clubs, but also like doesn't seem very inclusionary for what I would deem an extracurricular activity in the workplace.
This all sounds like a very big risk by the company in the first place.
Yeah.
I mean, you're almost setting yourself up for this type of stuff.
But it's also weird to like say, what's your statement of purpose for this club that then we can distribute to the whole company? And then they say in the vegan club that only vegetarians, pescatarians, and vegans need apply. So right there, that's not inclusionary, but yet the meat eaters club, they can only eat meat or non-vegetarian options.
Okay, one fairness here. The HR approved both, but this HR's got a big problem on their hands.
Yeah.
You know, they're playing the role of God here in these clubs.
And harboring and fostering cliques in the process.
Yes. So one could say this is actually detrimental to the whole damn company.
So is there like in the cafeteria lunchroom, is there like a meat eaters table and a vegan table?
Yes.
I mean, that doesn't seem healthy at all.
Now, we work in a beef company, but I argue there are probably a few hidden vegetarians or vegans within our workforce, you have to assume.
I was going to say, when you first read the title, I thought you were calling me out for wanting to almost start like a meat eaters only club.
No. And we do have a small coffee club. It's pretty small, but it is not exclusionary. It's really open to anybody.
It is, but it seems exclusive.
Yeah. Seems that way.
Maybe we need to extend a few more olive branches.
Now, I do like this idea that, again, going out as commodity to build teamships and friendships with people throughout the workplace. So one, is he the a-hole? Well, of course not. What they're doing is harmless.
Correct. But also, like, kudos, I just said that they're harboring a toxic, cliquey work environment, but kudos, after they all work 50-hour weeks, they all want to hang out on a Friday night.
What's I'm saying? The clubs themselves are not exclusionary or causing problems. It's HR's ruling over this. Because if you're going to also want to start up a Dungeon and Drag, or am I pronouncing that right?
Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes, that one. If you create that club, at what point does HR say, actually, no, that doesn't fit within what we want for these clubs?
Especially if their statement of purpose is just to get together on Friday nights and play some D&D?
Yeah, so really who the a-holes are in this one is HR.
Monsters.
Because they're creating divisiveness within the whole company.
Toxicity.
They should have shut down that vegan club right away and say, no, that doesn't really qualify for what we're trying to do here. We're trying to include everybody here, not just a certain group.
And that's not sustainable for the earth or the environment.
No, or for their diets or lifestyles.
Or for the bugs that they kill.
So in one, the HR right away, if now I'm the HR person, I would thrive in that position, I believe. Someone comes up to you.
As the ruler or what? You got the gavel
both.
in hand?
I'm doing everything. And they say, hey, Ben, we'd like to start a vegan club because it's a great lifestyle club. I'm like, well, I want healthy and nourished employees in my workforce. So no, you cannot have a vegan club. You need meat.
Yes. You can have a vegan club as long as you mix in meat.
Yes.
As part of the beef company, that is kind of our mission statement.
Yeah, because as a vegan, you can just claim, I made a mistake. I had meat. Now, you're intentionally doing it, of course. But like they do that all the time. I accidentally slipped up, but I'm back on the right path. You just do it once or twice a week.
Yeah. And then you're a beef flexitarian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, I love that. See, now we're helping bind this company. They went through a big merger. Maybe they lost everything in the process here, and now they're all floundering. Who knows?
I wish they would have said the name of the company.
I don't think that's how Reddit works.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Remember, he's on a throwaway account, so
and he's probably using his employer's IP address to post this.
Surprisingly enough, the topic itself wasn't that exciting, but it is very well engaged. I mean, there's 10,000 different votes on this thing.
Wow.
So I encourage everyone to have clubs at work. I enjoy the camaraderie that you should enjoy coming to the workplace. You should enjoy the people you work with. And creating some social aspects, I think, is a good idea. But again, you need to be very careful on the categories of group you form.
Yes, and also careful requiring a statement of purpose as well.
Yes. Do you have AI write this statement of purpose for you?
You very well could.
Probably should. They probably do a very PR way to do it.
There's no way for them to tell you no if you do that.
Did you cast a vote here?
Yeah, HR sucks.
HR sucks.
Yeah.
The poster, though, is not the a-hole.
No. And neither is Jen or whatever her name was. Jane, yeah. She's a vegan, whatever.
Yeah, she did nothing wrong.
She started a club.
Yeah. Now look what she started other clubs that go right against hers. So she started this.
She formed a clique.
Well, let's put this one to bed, shall we?
Let's do it.
We'll penalize Lily for not having a more exciting topic. She will pay the price for that one.
Yep.
Just kidding, Lily. Okay, second story. Am I the a-hole for screaming at a farmer for plowing fields loudly at 10 p.m.? Exciting. This relates because not only we're a beef company, we're vertically integrated with our cattle and ranch company.
Yep. So we're could be plowing fields or mowing grasses for our grass-fed, grass-finished beef.
Yes.
At 10 p.m.
Okay, quick story here. Ready? My house backyard is directly up against a large cornfield, and this happened last night. I was in my bed, and I heard a loud noise that almost sounded like a jet engine. Now I looked outside my bedroom window, and I see a large tractor plowing the cornfield. It is laid out, and I have work the next day. I got annoyed, but tried to ignore it. Now, after hearing it for more than 20 minutes, I had enough, and I went out into the backyard and waved a flashlight and screamed as loud as I could to get his attention when he came towards me. He saw me and stopped. He said, "Can I help you?" And I asked him, "Why are you plowing the fields loudly at night? I need to sleep." He said he was just doing his job. I told him, "Why can't you just do it during the day?" He did not answer and said, well, he did answer clearly. "Is there anything else you need, or are you just going to can I just get back to work?" Now, he had an attitude to him which made me more angry, and I screamed at him and told him that he shouldn't be a noise nuisance at night. He turned his tractor back on and drove away, continuing to plow the fields. I cursed at him loudly, knowing he couldn't hear me. Now, I talked with some neighbors about it today, and they said they heard it, but it wasn't a big deal, and I overreacted. So am I the a-hole for yelling at him, even though he was doing this late at night?
Wow, there's a lot to unpack there. But first thing that jumps right out at me, and I hate the fact that you read that to me like a bedtime story.
Oh, okay. Noted.
But whatever. That aside, sounds like a pretty beautiful home, with lots of beautiful scenery behind you. But do they also, I don't know, they said plowing the fields, but like if it's harvest time, you've got a pretty limited window to get your crops harvested.
Well, you really can apply that to any time of the season.
Right.
I mean, if there's a forecast for big rains coming in, you don't want to plow a field that's just a bunch of mud. So I mean, this farmer is working to feed America. If he's largely doing soy or corn, I mean, that's going to feed animals that, again, feed America. They don't work a traditional 8 to 5.
No.
So,
and they don't take vacations because they can't.
No. Or you do so in winter when you got no trucking or anything else to do. This person, when she moved to this farm, that's what you signed up for.
Yes.
So you are totally the a-hole here.
Yes. And maybe that's what that farmer should say next time is like, if you don't like it, you should move.
Yeah. Like, I have work to do. It doesn't run around your sleep schedule. There's some remedies that she could imply. She could get a
white noise machine.
I sleep with one. It's wonderful.
White noise, gray noise, brown noise, green noise,
rain or noise canceling headphones.
Noise canceling headphones, wax earplugs.
Move. So
she's got options.
And to sit there and run out in the middle of the night, now she just created more tension with her neighbor.
And maybe that neighbor now realizes how under her skin he or she got. Mm-hmm. And so now they're like, you know what? Maybe I am going to wait till 9 o'clock to go out and get in the combine.
Yes, it's going to be very intentional going forward.
And maybe I'll put an extra light on my combine.
Like, again, maybe she's also a farmer, hobby farmer. Maybe it's just an acreage, just happened to have that farm in the background. But again, it just comes back to this is the way of life. Assuming maybe this is in the Midwest. I can't imagine that if it's a commercial size farm where you have to be plowing at night, a hobby farmer who's just got a small garden in the back isn't going to be running that tractor at night. But again, on any commercial farm, especially in a region like the Midwest, you're going to be farming all the time.
What if it is a hobby farm and that particular farmer has a day job and this is kind of a side project, homestead type of thing, and that's the only time they have to do it?
Well, I mean, yeah, I suppose. And 10 p.m. is not that offensive.
I feel like this is like in Indiana or something.
Very possible, but again, 10 p.m. is not that late. You look at all the people who have night shifts that sleep during the day. They deal with this stuff all the time too.
Well, and what are you going to do if like it's a tractor behind you, or what happens if your neighbors behind you are unruly and they have parties until 4 a.m?
Yes, I love that.
So like, what's the difference? Which is the lesser of two evils?
You're electing to have a big party. You don't need to have the big party.
Right.
We're here. Like, this guy probably really needs to do it. My friend's grandma, who's like 94, still lives by herself in the country.
Wow.
She's an impressive lady. We had a drought a few years ago, and her neighbors were continuing to run the irrigation and they share a well. Sorry, I should have stated that. Well, she was running out of water in the house because this well was being all used to sit there and irrigate the plant. So she went out like at 6 a.m, went to the pivot and turned off the pivot.
Wow.
That's dangerous work in itself.
Yeah.
Farmers came out, noticed her, screamed. They got a screaming match. They yelled at a 95-year-old lady. She wanted water for her dishes and showers and drinking water. They wanted to water the fields. So that to me sounds like a very warranted battle.
For sure, especially when you're taking water out of your home and putting it in the field. Maybe that neighbor should dig their own well.
Well, they very well should now. Or like I said, I don't know enough about the well science to know like where you can plant these or how close you can get to another. But especially here, and this was in Nebraska, so we are largely subsidized by the government. Should there be drought, they're going to get some money back for failure in the fields due to weather, to pests, to whatever the case may be. But in other areas where, especially other countries where it's not subsidized, yeah, you're going to fight for that water and have to.
And that's essential for life.
So this lady, yeah, okay, and she was voted the a-hole. Rightly so.
Yeah, she's like the get off my lawn type of person.
Yeah, she's not going to go very far in life if she's that desperate for sleep. And have you ever heard of tractor running?
Tractor running?
The plowing of fields. It's not that loud.
No.
So
tractor. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like they're just scraping over boulders. It's just largely the sound of an engine going.
No, but I do hope that farmer is listening, because if you are listening, keep on trucking, buddy.
I sure hope he is.
He very well could be.
Have an accident and plow right into her house. Like, okay, no, that I woke you up. I'm sorry about that.
Okay, yeah. Sorry about your privacy fence.
And you're back of the house. It's gone. So yeah, it was kind of nice, for once to tie in a story that wasn't about beef, but about the farming and how that relates to not only our country, but the way that we live here in the Midwest.
Absolutely, yeah.
That was a nice tie-in. We should probably I bet there's an excellent trove of farm stories out there.
I guess we'll have to find out.
Yes, next week, perhaps. Okay, last story. This one is posted 2 years ago. Pretty nicely engaged, too. So let's get into this one. Now yes, it was 2 years ago, but mind you, this is how it just starts.
Please don't read it like a bedtime story.
That's how I just read. Okay. Am I the a-hole for eating an expensive steak that my son bought me and not sharing it with my wife? Okay. So this story was wrote the day after this happens. Okay. Now me, 46 male, and my wife, 37 female, is still pretty mad at me. So I just wanted some outside views. Yesterday, it was my birthday. I took the day off since I had some PTO days left over, and my son, 28, dropped by as I told him I took the day off. Now, my son works in a good job making really good money. Not to brag, but I am pretty proud of him.
Yeah. Doesn't every parent really say that, though, too?
Especially when his son's making buku dollars. Now, just to give context to the rest of the situation. Now, along with coming over, he brought a bottle of Hennessy and 2 expensive cuts of meat. A5 Wagyu cost him close to $200, only to know the price was on a little stickier on the container. Oh, it was because the price was on the sticker that the package came in. Now, my son also took the day off to spend some time with me, so he grilled the steaks, which were very good. I'd buy more, but the price tag is just too absurd for me, and in my opinion. Now, we sat back and drank some cognac and just had a really good time catching up, as it's been a while since I last saw him. Restrictions mainly due to, life in general, just being busy with life. 2 years ago, so it was still probably in the COVID time frame. Overall, we had a pretty good time. Later in the day, my son had left, and my wife comes back home from work. My wife is not my son's mom, FYI. So they don't really have a great relationship, though I'd make this clear. She was exhausted, so I took over the cooking and cleaning duties for the day. And she was borderline falling asleep. She works as a nurse, and I was feeling pretty good, so no skin off my back to do all this extra work. Now, we ate dinner, and after eating, my wife gained some energy and offered to bring out the trash to the curb for trash collection day that was today. She came in looking now very upset, and I asked her what was up, and she showed me the container that the steaks came in. She went dumpster diving.
Gross.
No one does that.
Especially, it's trash.
Okay. Especially a myoglobin soaked meat package. Pretty risky. So she came in and asked me how I could justify spending that amount of money on beef when it tasted the exact same as generic grocery store beef. We had beef stir fry for dinner.
Clearly uninformed.
Yes. She needs to listen to some beef podcasts out there. Now, I told her that my son had brought over the steaks for my birthday and that we had for dinner wasn't even that Wasn't even that steak. She then got angry because I didn't save her. Oh, this guy's grammar, by the way, is a little off, so please be mindful. It was that steak, but we didn't save her any, as it was a luxury item, and it was a lot of money, so we both ate it. So I didn't save any. But like me personally, I would never spend a lot of money or that much money by spending a lot on steaks. But I was happy to take it as a gift. Now, I told her my son wanted to have a nice lunch with me, but she stayed firm in saying that I should have saved her some. But like how? It was a 5-ounce steak. Oh my, did he spend $200 on 10 ounces of steak?
Whoa. That better have had a certificate with it.
Oh my God. So although it was very good, I was still hungry. And so I told my wife this. Anyways, I thought she was just in a bad mood due to work. We went to sleep, but my wife is now giving me the cold shoulder. So people at Reddit, am I the a-hole?
So 2 things. One, she has FOMO because this was a daytime thing. The son took the day off. The son doesn't get along with his stepmom.
It doesn't say that. They just say they don't have much of a relationship.
But what I think is weird is the age gap is closer to the son than it is her husband.
Yeah, pretty close. Son's roughly, they said they were married when the kid was after 18. So you're right. You're probably 10 years to and from.
Sure. Pretty unique situation there.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she just has a severe case of fear of missing out, FOMO, because she saw the package and she probably saw the price tag. And then she probably was like, oh my gosh, I bet that was incredible. And then he probably was like, oh my gosh, babe, paired with Hennessy, it was the best thing I've ever had in my life.
So I've never had Hennessy and beef in the same setting. So I don't know what that combo.
Me neither, but
it sounds expensive. Now she saw the package, so her ignorance in the beef tasting the same, comparing A5 Wagyu to stir fry beef.
But couldn't it?
There's no way she knew what Wagyu was.
No,
she saw the price tag only.
Correct.
And to justify like I should have been a part of that because it was so expensive.
Correct. But also for lunch as well, it's like it's one of those things where it was like, yeah, Johnny came over for lunch. It was my birthday. He brought those over, and we just didn't think twice about it because it was such a small portion. It was delicious, and we ate it all. Sorry.
That's the thing. It's 5 ounces. 4 ounces the recommended serving for any beef, whether it's fatty or not. That's not a lot of meat.
No.
That's a quarter pounder, right? So there's nothing to share it as it is. So the fact that she thought she should have been, like, unless it's also sharing the experience of a birthday dinner. That I will say, yes, you have this relationship with the father and the son, but like, you're a family now. Whether you married after this kid was already moved out of the house or not, like, I can see where she just feels left out that like, hey, it's your birthday, babe. I wanted to be a part of it.
Could you also imagine eating a full 5 ounces of A5 Wagyu though? I mean, I would need a pillow and a nap immediately.
Well, in this case, maybe you chugged half a bottle of Hennessy. Does that keep you up?
I don't know.
Help wash the steak down?
Does that make the all that fat kind of congeal or?
Well, like I said, I mean, if you already have the Hennessy, right away, I probably would do like a whiskey cream sauce.
Oh,
that kind of sounds nice. With the pairing. Hennessy. Yes, why not? You can spare a 2-ounce pour to put in your pan. Now, I cooked with cognac once before doing a steak à poivre. In a few episodes, you actually pronounce it poivre.
Steak à poivre.
Yeah, it's steak à poivre.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah, but it's very flammable. So when you sit there and ignite that, the whole thing just bursts into flames. It's quite exciting to cook. So this lady here, I mean, again, I assume they're going to move past this. She's upset. He's probably annoyed. But it's one of those little ruffles in a marriage that, like, one night of sleep, you're likely going to move past it.
Yeah, and maybe he could use this as an opportunity should the cold shoulder persist in the morning. Like, hey, maybe if you extend an olive branch to repair or strengthen the relationship with your stepson.
Well, to say, like, reach out. Like, if you want this relationship with my boy, make one.
Yeah. All you got to do is text him, hey, bring me a steak next time, you monster.
Maybe she should offer. Well, no, wait. This son makes a lot of money.
Allegedly.
And plus,
and the dad is very proud of him. What parent isn't proud of their kids?
Yeah, I mean, if one, show me the pay stub.
That's what I'm saying. Show me the receipts.
Again, astonished that he spends $200 on 10 ounces of steak. We sell, I don't know what our Wagyu offering is, but it's $100 a pound. So they're spending over $200 a pound.
That's why I said
That's extreme.
It better come with one of those certificates.
So if you're going to go to your father lives in Arkansas on a retirement type facility.
Retirement community, not facility, but yeah.
I guess there's a small change in language there. You're going to go down and surprise him for his birthday. What a treat that would be in itself, right?
Sure.
Now, you walk in, if you're going to want to cook steaks with Papa, do you really think a 5-ounce portion is really celebrating, even no matter what type of breed it is?
No.
No.
I equate that 5 ounces to like what our 4-ounce filet mignon would be. The mignonette.
Yeah. I mean, it's like an appetizer.
It's a 2-biter.
Yeah. So if you're going to really surprise somebody and you make a lot of money, then bring a A5 porterhouse.
Yeah, tomahawk, porterhouse, a big format, like a steak Fiorentina, something like that.
Yes, and at that point, you have enough to celebrate with the whole family.
Yeah.
So yeah, Dad, there's going to be a lot more here. In addition to the cognac, I can bring some wine along. I can bring some seltzers, whatever the case may be. But let's get Mom involved in this too. So really the a-hole here is the son.
Right, but we don't know. Like maybe he only had the morning off. That's why he chose a lunch.
He did say that he took the whole day off.
Oh, okay. But then left before his stepmom got home.
Yeah, so and again, this guy's story writing was a little over the map. It was a challenge to read because, again, the grammar wasn't necessarily there. It made it sound like this was almost the next day, too, because he said dinner. So depending on maybe what region of the country you're from, some people would call lunch dinner. But in what world are you going to pound down steaks and whiskey at noon? But it doesn't sound like a lunch to me.
No, but then also to have like a stir-fried beef later on for dinner, like, I mean, I wonder if there was like still a residual buzz there, or because he said he felt great, so he was happy to do all this.
So in this case, we probably are making the assumption they had a steak and whiskey lunch, and the guy feels so good he's going to have beef again for supper.
But stir-fry beef.
Stir-fried beef, which just sounds fair. Maybe it was too fatty. You need something light, easy to pound.
Or just look at the economics of it. I mean, you go from creme de la creme to...
He didn't pay for it, by the way.
Correct, but you go from cream of the crop to, a weeknight meal.
I would bring in one personal story into this about dumpster diving. Is there was at one point... so I'm on a journey of Sober October. Right.
Good for you.
Yes. Thank you. What day are we in? 19 days into the month. I'm feeling good. I miss, having a few relaxation drinks and stuff. But prior to this, I threw away a bottle of whiskey once that maybe I drank a little too fast. You buy this thing it's going to last a week. Like, oops, it's only been 3 days. Maybe there's a couple games and stuff like that. Throw the bottle away. Well, when the missus goes to take the trash out, she hears this clank in the trash can. Or the trash bag, opens it up and sees that bottle of whiskey. And then she has to ask me, "You drank that already?
You lush?"
And I'm like, "Oh, how do I get out of this one?" Like, yeah, just a couple heavy pours. Busted.
Oh, no, that was the last one.
Oh, yeah. See, I'm just trying to recycle. I just forgot to throw that one away.
Yeah, no. The other one's still down there, definitely.
So she wasn't intentionally rifling through the trash. So maybe she just heard the sound and just peeked inside. I can't imagine the same scenario here where you take this old, juicy, myoglobin-soaked beef package, because usually if it's that overwrap, it's already kind of wrinkled and folded over. So she really had to, truly dig through the trash to probably find that.
She went true detective, too, to look at, the price tag on the label and everything.
Yeah. So there's some...
I hope she washed her hands after she did
some underlying issues that going on here. So I assume, again, they moved on. Everyone's moved on, and I hope that there's a stronger relationship going forward with the son.
Me too. I think that is the crux of this whole thing. Is I hope that they can strengthen their relationship in hopes that maybe for Dad's next birthday, she gets her own steak.
Yeah, and this could apply to everybody here to understanding if you have a stepchild, it's not just on the stepchild to reach out to you to build a relationship.
It's a two-way street.
It's a two-way street.
Yep.
And you really can say that about any relationship out there. I've never once seen a healthy relationship where it's one person's way or the highway, and that's the way it's got to work.
That's right. It's give and take.
Yeah. So in this case here, they can build better bonds, but they have to choose to do it themselves.
Or even better yet, maybe the wife and stepmom could perhaps take his birthday off the next year.
Yeah, and they do something together.
Yeah.
Have some chicken. Probably not.
Probably not.
Well, let's go ahead and wrap this up. For all of you shopping for the holidays, be sure to check out our wide range of gifting options on cpbeef.com and use code PBP26 for 26% off all your beef purchase. And Joe, you want to give them some free product?
I think so. Just like every other week, if we use the code, in addition to the PBP26 discount code, go ahead and use code INRESPONSE, all one word, and we'll go ahead and throw in, what do you think this week?
about some good old flat irons?
Flat irons, 2 8-ounce flat iron steaks with the code INRESPONSE, in addition to that PBP26 for 26% off your whole beef order at cpbeef.com. With that, we'll see you next time.
See you next week.